The night was so still you could hear the river breathing. In Robertson County, Tennessee, autumn of 1817, the Red River crawled through the mist like a living thing. The forest on its banks held a strange silence, broken only by the soft toll of a bell that no one had rung. Locals called it the Silent Bell, a sound that traveled without a source. Some said it came from the hollow beneath the riverbed. Others swore it echoed from the Bell family farm. But all agreed on one thing. It started the same month the Bell family began to hear knocking on their walls at night. John Bell was a respected man, a farmer, a church elder, the kind of neighbor people trusted with their children and their secrets. His land stretched wide, corn, tobacco, livestock, enough to give his family a good life. But peace, like most things in that valley, never lasted long. It began one evening when John returned home from the fields and heard a faint scratching behind the cabin's wooden wall. Thinking it was rats, he sealed the holes and set traps. But the next night, the sound returned. Louder. Deliberate. Like a hand dragging its nails across timber. The family gathered, lanterns in hand, hearts pounding in the quiet. Then came 3 sharp knocks from inside the wall. 1, 2, 3, and the house fell silent. They didn't speak of it at first. In 19th century Tennessee, people feared gossip as much as ghosts. Yet, as days passed, the noises grew bolder. Furniture shifted on its own. Sheets were pulled from the children's beds, and at times a faint whisper drifted through the rooms, like a woman humming just beyond hearing. Lucy Bell, John's wife, was the first to pray aloud. She claimed the voice belonged to something unrested. John dismissed it, but their daughter Betsy knew better. Betsy was 14, with a bright, curious mind. She said the voice followed her, through the fields, by the river, even to the small one-room schoolhouse down the road. By winter, neighbors began to whisper about the bells. Visitors who stayed the night swore they heard the same unearthly voice calling their names. Some claimed the voice mocked their prayers. Others said it sang hymns backwards. The phenomenon spread. People from as far as Nashville came to the farm drawn by rumors of a talking spirit. By 1819, the Bell Witch, as they now called it, was known across the southern states. What made this haunting unlike any other was not just the violence. It was the intelligence. It spoke. It reasoned. It debated theology with ministers and joked with guests. At times, it recited entire sermons, word for word, sermons it could not have possibly overheard. But its cruelty toward John Bell was relentless. It cursed him, threatened him, called him Old Jack. And as the months passed, John's health began to fail. His jaw stiffened, his hands trembled. The doctor diagnosed him with an unknown affliction, but those who'd heard the witch's laughter at his bedside knew better. They said she poisoned him. One December morning in 1820, John Bell was found in his bed, cold and still. Beside him was a small vial of dark liquid. When the family asked the witch what it was, she reportedly laughed and said, "I gave Old Jack a dose that fixed them." During John's funeral, witnesses claimed to hear her voice ringing through the air, mocking the prayers and singing songs of triumph. The legend should have ended there, but it didn't. For months after Bell's death, the voice returned, softer, like an echo fading into the hills. It promised to leave, but vowed to return in 7 years, and according to local lore, it did. In 1828, the witch's voice was said to have revisited John Bell Jr., conversing with him privately about the past, the present, and the future. Then, as mysteriously as she came, she vanished. But the land never recovered. Travelers through the Red River Valley told of lights floating above the fields, of laughter carried on the wind, of oxen refusing to cross the Bell property line. In later years, the cave near the farm, now known as the Bell Witch Cave, became the center of the story. Locals believed it was her home, her lair beneath the earth. Some who entered came out whispering nonsense, claiming they heard the sound of invisible chains. But who or what was the Bell Witch? Some said it was the vengeful spirit of Kate Batts, a neighbor who'd quarreled with John Bell over land. Others believed it was a poltergeist born from Betsy's adolescent energy, an early American case of psychokinesis. And a few, especially the preachers, believed it was something far older, a demon masquerading as a voice of reason. The Bell Witch case remains one of the earliest and most documented hauntings in American history. Even Andrew Jackson, before becoming president, reportedly visited the farm out of curiosity. His men later fled in terror after claiming their wagons froze in place, as if gripped by unseen hands. In truth, there is no simple explanation, but the power of the story lies not in proof, but in persistence. 2 centuries later, visitors still travel to Adams, Tennessee, to see the Bell Witch Cave. They stand in its darkness and listen. Some say they hear water dripping. Others swear they hear faint laughter, soft, mocking, eternal. The locals say the Bell Witch never left. She only sleeps when no one believes in her. And when the river fog grows thick and the air hums low like a tuning fork, they say you can hear it again, the tolling of a bell, far away, calling her back. The silent bells of Red River Valley never stopped ringing. We just forgot how to listen. If you heard her voice tonight, you're already part of the story. The Bell Witch never forgets the ones who listen. So before the next whisper finds you, like, share, and subscribe while you still can.